I want to talk about probably the number one challenge couples have when they study Tantra. Ever since I began teaching, this has been a common thread right from the very beginning, right from the reason they even take the course, all the way through the studying of the course. And that reason is that predominantly the woman doesn't want to have sex anymore, or she wants much less sex than her husband or partner. And of course, the more he demands it and the more he feels her pull away, the more angry she gets and the less she wants it, and it just gets worse and worse. I've had women say that, oh, well, it's just because I'm menopausal, or obviously something happened, when my children were born, or I'm just stressed, and the men too, well, maybe it's porn, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. But I don't actually think it's any of those things, and I really have struggled over the years because I'm someone who really wants to help fix it. I really want to help, and I have always sort of had this belief that the answer was, well, somehow we have to figure this out so that you can stay together and really find that love that you once had. The hard thing is in my deepest heart, 9 times out of 10, or even higher, my deepest guidance is perhaps your relationship is over. And I don't like that advice because I'm quite a romantic. So I don't like that advice. But unfortunately, it might be true. And I don't know whether it's a function of the time, whether what once flew in a relationship 10, 20 years ago, 100 years ago, simply isn't flying today. And when we've been in a relationship for very long, sometimes there's just too much of this historical interaction that, I don't know, in today's consciousness and how we see the world, what we expect within ourselves and within relationships, it just doesn't fly. And maybe there isn't actually a bridge between what it was and what we want. And maybe we just stay together for reasons of security or simplicity or, I don't know, financial reasons, all kinds of things. And I believe that one of the foundational problems here is that historically we often got married and we treated each other like objects. Everyone, male and female, even in gay couples too. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to speak from a heterosexual model because these are the couples I'm working with. Oftentimes we marry someone because they represent something to us. They are a caregiver, they make enough money, or they want to have children, or maybe they're really sexy, or they're really good looking, or we think they'll be great in bed and we're really turned on by them. But we actually aren't interacting with the human, we're interacting with them as an object. There's someone we want to have sex with, there's someone we want to live with, there's someone who looks good on our arm, there's someone who can provide the home and the lifestyle I want. And as much as we truly love them, we're interacting with them like an object. So then all of a sudden, let's say you have this tantric awakening and you have this moment where you realize, wait a minute, I'm actually a person with desires and hopes and dreams, and I matter. I'm not just an object. I'm not just a caregiver. I'm not just here to be whatever you want me to be, whether that's sexually or your financial bank account or whatever. I'm not that for you. I'm actually a person. And this is new thought. People have had these thoughts, but it's rising everywhere. It's really, really a lot more common now, and it's disrupting our maybe object-oriented marital model. So all of a sudden someone wakes up and they go, hey, wait a minute, I'm like a real person here. And the other person goes, what? No, we had a thing. This is how we do things. This is how it is. And the other person goes, no, it's not. If you love me, how about we love each other as humans and not objects? And sometimes I watch couples and I realize that maybe not everyone's in the same place. And maybe they can't. Maybe the reason they were drawn to each other was based on this object model. You are something that I need and you are something I want, and that's it. So perhaps the relationship actually can't continue if we choose to be a person, if we choose to be a whole human with needs and desires and hopes and dreams. And I don't like this. My old romantic self says, damn it, there's got to be a way to solve it. And I don't know. And I think the key is that there has to be choice. Because when we're a whole person, and we're not an object that is owned by the other person or owes the other person any kind of behavior, this is new. And that means in every single step of the way we have choice. So that means if the other person wants to watch porn and they want to masturbate or they want to do whatever they want all the time, and when they come to you, they're not particularly interested in the kind of lovemaking you want, that's cool, because that's the life they want to live, and that's great. You don't have to fit into whatever that mold is. If someone wants to have sex all the time and their partner doesn't, then perhaps it's the wrong partner. And it's time to explore who this new person is you're discovering on both sides. And this choice is scary, but it really matters that you are you. And it really matters that you honor your path, regardless of the marriage, regardless of the relationship, and regardless of the comfort that we might be giving up. Someone once said to me that God was much less concerned about our comfort than our growth. And sometimes I think we forget that. There's that saying that says, I don't know who, it was a Buddha or who it was, but they said, the problem is they think they have time. And it's curious how we mark time struggling through things that maybe shouldn't be struggles. Maybe it's time to actually live our own life, whatever that looks like. Seeking people who match who we are today. Maybe someone wants to come along and shift, but I think simply saying, I actually have choice, in kindness, never, we don't have to choose to be mean or nasty or anything, but in kindness to make a choice and move forward. And I think the important thing is to consider that perhaps separating or ending a relationship is an important thing to consider and have it on the plate, maybe even to save the relationship, right? To know that this isn't forever, absolutely no matter what. And if we really want to work this out, then we both actually have to set our things aside and work on it. Or else, awesome, we'll move on and our paths will diverge and we'll have new experiences. And as much as I've personally made this choice in my life to have a divorce and let relationships actually live as long as they truly are meant to, as a teacher, I have really struggled to give this advice to anyone, because who am I to give anyone this kind of advice, this kind of life-changing, I don't want to come off as an authority that I know, oh, well, obviously your relationship's over. Like, I'd never want to do that because that's none of my business. But I think I'm making this video because I'm finding that I think I'm dancing around that truth and not being honest and not offering maybe what people are seeking. So, thanks for listening.